Yo, 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 good morning, everyone, and welcome to Combat Culture Africa. As you can see, it's a full table in the house today, but we are doing the show. It's gonna be a super packed, a super delightful show because I have my man Andrew, our jiu-jitsu coach from Malaysia, on the table with us. Andrew, say something for the people.
What is going on, people? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday indeed. We just had the most beautiful jiu-jitsu session and it was wonderful. It was beautiful. So yeah, we'll do the introductions as usual because 19 episodes in, I'm sure you guys still don't know who we are. My name is Oche, young Jollof, the Nigerian nerd Charles Edache. And right across the table from me is
Andrew Osahor, plain and simple.
Andrew Osahor. All right, then. So we're just going to hop right into the content for today. And first things first, most visible thing on everybody's mind right now, UFC 246.
Conor Cowboy.
Yes, Conor Cowboy. I know you said you didn't watch the fights, but then what did you think of the main event? Seeing as it was short enough for everyone to know what happened.
Yeah, so I actually watched it. I just didn't watch it live. And just like everyone else thinks, it was way shorter than they wanted it to be. I'm sure most people wanted to see like a battle go on because both of those guys are so skilled. But I can't say I was surprised. I can't say I was surprised. The Connor that was, out in the public recently was just too. He seemed focused, just like we talked about, And he came out there and did it, and leave it to Connor to bring out some new stuff that no
Balls
one's
on
seen.
that guy, right?
Ooh,
Delivering under such pressure.
such pressure.
Madison Square Garden.
With such confidence.
No, that was Las Vegas actually.
Yeah.
Confidence, yeah.
I had seen shoulder strikes from John Jones in the clinch, very nasty, but leave it to Connor to innovate on that and dip and really make it an active strike. It was amazing. It was beautiful.
He was a predator in that fight.
Yeah.
He came for blood. Now that the fight is over, yeah. Fun fact, it's a fun story. Main card started. First fight ended. Conor was not in the building. Second fight started. Conor was not in the building. Third fight started. Conor was not in the building. During the fourth fight, Conor walks in. He walked in late.
Jeez.
And when you walk in as a fighter, obviously you're fully dressed. You go to USADA. USADA drug tests you, so you pee in a cup. They make sure that you're fit to fight and everything. Then you go. They have to wrap your wrists, depending on the athletic commission, and then you now have to start getting warm. He did all of that in 20 to 30 minutes. Came
Jesus.
out, knocked his opponent out in 40 seconds, got a massive payday. Called out Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal and left the building.
Imagine
so
that.
adds to the fame of this band and the legend behind the notorious Conor McGregor.
And now 3 weight divisions.
Yes,
This guy is an animal.
Yes. Knockouts in 3 different weight divisions. But yeah, I'm happy for him. What do you think is next for him now that he has this much momentum behind him?
I think in the past, whoever Connor calls out or whoever, the stars are at the time will get that show. But something makes me feel he won't get Masvidal or Kamaru. Kamaru, they're both up for the task, I'm sure. But because he's new to the division, I see them giving him another fight to really, really put him in that standing. Then again, it's Conor. It's always the big money fights, and those two, man, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Some people are throwing in Nate Diaz versus Conor 3 in the mix.
Oof.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that one any day.
And Nate Diaz posted a tweet immediately after the fast. I'm not after the fight, saying all this shit's fake. That's what he said. Yeah, we're not supposed to curse on combat culture.
Yeah.
That was what Nate Diaz said.
Yeah. Hey, Nate, my man.
Nate doesn't care, man.
Doesn't care.
Doesn't
I
care.
love those kids so much. Him and his brother. Their lifestyle, their advocacy, those guys are real. Those guys are so real. And here's one thing most people don't know about them is a lot of fighters get into, they live their life, they do some normal training, and then they get a fight or a contract, and then they go into a 6-week camp, and that's kind of it. But Nate and Nick, they live that. They live it all day, every day. These guys are doing marathons, triathlons, riding their bikes, swimming. What was his brother swam to Alcatraz and back? Like how many times? Like Jesus, these guys. So how do you face up against that? Those guys are scary. So, that trilogy fight, I welcome it anytime. That's a good option, but I also don't think that will happen.
Why not?
I don't know. I think they're waiting for just a massive, massive payday. When I feel that when that fight is right, the world will know about it. You know, the same way the first and the second were right. You know, whenever the hype comes around, it will feel real. And another thing is, a lot of people give Dana White a lot of just crap. You know, but that dude knows what he's doing. He makes
business
some,
promoter.
yeah, he makes some really good money fights. You know, so I think when the time is right, Dana will put it together. But that fight will happen for sure.
Sounds good. Sounds good. One last thing. People were throwing in Khabib's name in the mix because Dana actually came out to say that Conor versus Khabib is the fight to make next. I don't think that fight's going to happen. One, because Khabib is fighting Tony Ferguson on 28th of April. And immediately after that, Ramadan starts, and it's fasting till about late July. After July, then he might have one fight, maybe one fight, two fights at most by the end of the year. Conor is not going to be sitting down and waiting for that period. I don't think, since he says he wants to be active this year. So, but Abdul Manap, Conor's Khabib's dad, came out to say, if you want to make the fight, it's easy. Give us 100 million. $100 million payday, and I will make the fight. So yeah, that was an interesting development from this week.
Everyone's trying to take this model Connor brought out. That's not how to do it. That's not how to do it, because if you call out the money, but the world isn't
Ready
there
for it.
Yeah, a lot of the world is actually satisfied with the Conor Khabib one. So Conor needs that rematch. By the way, I don't think he's ever lost a rematch. He's lost. Conor has lost fights. He's not undefeated, but his rematches though, he always comes back. So he will get it, but that 100 million, whatever it's not happening, bro.
When it's time, right?
When it's time.
Okay, all right then. Next thing on the list, Sodiq. I really wished you watched Sodiq fight because it was an interesting fight. Really interesting. It started on the feet as expected. Both men trading, and each time Andre Fili hit him, you could see that whenever they were in exchanges and Andre hit him and Sodiq hit him back, you could see the power differential. Like even Joe was on the edge of his seat saying, this boy is swinging for the fences, because when he hit Andre, you could see his eyes go up like, oh wow, like this kid has some power. And it was a war. Nice. It was a war for the first round. Second round, Andre Fili, really underrated wrestler, really good wrestler. First time I ever saw him wrestle was versus Max Holloway. This was maybe 6 years ago. This was his second or third fight in the UFC, and he wrestled with Holloway that fight. And I remember keeping that in my head. Fun fact: he was also trained he was trained by the team Alpha Male guys back in the day. So whenever he would walk out to the cage, Uriah Faber would follow him to the cage as well. So yeah, second round, Andre Fili is probably thinking, okay, if we're striking, it might be too close of a striking battle. This guy might knock me out. I'll take him to the ground. Took Sodiq down, and Sodiq just dominated him with jiu-jitsu. Side control. It was the entire round. Beautiful. So it was clear that Sodiq won that round. So I think anyone watching this, listening to this, go check that fight out, man.
Yes,
That fight was good. Third round was super close. He was playing really safe, and the judges gave it to him. Unanimous decision. Nice. He won. So now, what we've been hoping for Sodiq has finally come to fruition. He's now a ranked fighter. He's ranked 14 in the featherweight division. If he continues with this, I reckon if he has 3 more wins, he'll probably be in his first 5-round main events in the UFC. I won't be surprised. Sodiq,
congratulations, my man.
Yeah, man, beautiful stuff. He killed it. Well proud of you, man. Well proud of you, and just keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. So yeah, as it stands now, you've been in Abuja for about 8 days now.
Yeah.
How many of those days have you spent training with us?
7-8 days.
Yeah, every single day, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
All day, every day.
Yeah. So like, what do you, now that you're here, you can see the hunger for mixed martial arts in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. You can see the excitement on people's faces. People are bringing their kids. Girls are coming. Guys are coming. Married people, young people. You can see that enthusiasm for what you have to share and what you have to teach. what effect does that have on you? Like in terms of your perception of this country, or like in comparison to what you were before?
Well, it's interesting that you phrase that way because two things. One is if you're in any other country, looking at Google Maps or whatever, and you type in jiu-jitsu school or so many places pop up. There's competition. There's that culture. Then you do it the same in Nigeria, and it's like one or two places in the whole country that stand out. But then I come here, and then the people are here. The hunger, like you said, is there. Everyone's training. People are actually wants this lifestyle kind of thing. So it was very tricky for me to deal with because I thought I would walk into a situation where not much was going on. People didn't know what they were doing. I thought of it as gyms back in the day where there's one person there that is there every day to show themselves or something. Meanwhile, what you guys have going here is like a little family of people helping each other grow, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. The suffering is there, the hard work, the technique it's all there, and everyone's doing it. So it's pretty amazing to see. On the flip side, or on the other side of that, what I also notice is, as a nation as a whole, this sport and this lifestyle, it's in its infancy. It's almost just like a brand new baby. Not many people know about it yet, but we have it's almost clear that it's in our DNA as a people, because anyone that sees it or tries it, you see the look in their eye. They're so hooked. It's like, I want to try that. There were people watching while we were sparring yesterday, and it's just like they're interested. They're very interested, and we just need to get them in there. So my outlook on the country, dude, with the state of our country, unfortunately as it is, there's a lot of negativity, a lot of danger, a lot of corruption, and all this nonsense that wants to push people away. This is the kind of stuff that makes me want to stay. I would, matter of fact, when I was planning my travel routes, I wanted to minimize my time in Nigeria and maximize my time in Trinidad, because I had a gym, or I know a gym there, and it seemed like a more comfortable environment. But as soon as I stepped in here, I'm like, no, I'm gonna chill in Nigeria and train, because there's like-minded people doing good work, hard work, and so it makes me definitely want to stay.
There's something I want to highlight with regards to the culture of the people that you met here. Is I have to give credits where credit's due, and that is to Mayo Icebox Okundo, the owner of this gym that we train in. From the very first day that I met him and I told him, oh, I want to learn MMA, can you train me? He said, oh, that he's starting up a class, he's doing this, he's doing that, we're going to have this on Monday, that on Tuesday. I was like, oh yeah, this sounds good, sounds good. One of the first conversations we had was him making it clear to me that the classes would be centered on certain tenets. One of them would be that there would be no egos. So the ego is left at the door. On the mat, we are all equals. And the second was that he wanted it to be a fun atmosphere. So it's coming, it's like, the example he always uses is that, remember when you were kids and you would just be running and you would jump and kick someone and you would play and roll on the floor and you would see something in a movie and you would go try it out.
Yeah.
That's the exact same feel. So we come in, everybody's laughing, we're joking, but it's very, very it's carefully constructed to be that way. We've had people that have come in for different classes, people who are more experienced. They feel like they see some of the people training, maybe girls, or they see guys that don't know how to throw a punch, and they're saying, oh, they're not going to deck.
It's too low level.
Too low level. So maybe they just come when we're sparring, and then instead of doing touch sparring or light touching, they want to go hard. We've had those experiences, and generally it's been diffused very quickly. It's a safe. It has to be. Yeah, that was the third tenet. It had to be safe.
Yeah.
You can't come here and get an injury. You can't come here and be afraid for your safety.
Yes.
It has to be a safe space. Yeah.
So I would add to those kudos. He's done a good job. You all have done a good job. Like the environment here is absolutely amazing. The space is nice. The atmosphere feels friendly. And I've not seen a lot of ego since I came. People are genuinely here to learn. They're paying attention. They're really focused. They're trying to do the right thing, asking questions. Happy for corrections as well. It's beautiful, man. Like the respect is just free flowing. It's an amazing environment.
Yeah. Okay, so we've touched on your general thoughts. It's overall positive, But let's make it a little more interesting. Is there anything that has rubbed you off the wrong way? Anything you think that could be improved upon, even if it's not specific to this gym? Maybe with the mindset of some of the people or anything. Has anything happened that has made you think, yeah, maybe not, or we could do that differently?
Well, I haven't observed the other classes properly. So far we've done my class with the jiu-jitsu, and I've joined one kickboxing class. So far, no. So far, no. I think down to each individual, everyone would have little holes in their game they need to fix. Little tips, little bad habits here and there. But as far as the culture, as far as the people, the process, the environment, no. So far, so good, man. So far, so good. I haven't. Nothing has nothing has turned me off. I think I've been having a blast each time I come here, and it seems absolutely fine. But that being said, I think maybe it's because I've been here just temporarily, and it might change today. Is what's the culture after the gym? A lot of the times, at least what I'm used to with my folks in Malaysia is, after the gym is the goofy time because you've done hard work, and so there's this kind of mass migration to the next restaurant to get a juice. So that I'm sure that exists here. I'll probably just find my way to slide into one of those circles, But that I miss a little bit. I think.
We Mayo, Chidi, my older brother Skelly, and Blessing Hot Chocolate every Friday.
Oh, good
we
shit.
try to, because it's hard work between working out, creating content, training, being on top of your game, dealing with your 9 to 5. Like, I'll give you an example, right? I wake up by 4:45 in the morning. I shower, pray, clean my room. I'm out of the house by 5:45. By 6, I'm at the office. I'm working on generally 2 or 3 combat culture videos per day. Then I have to do whatever else I have to do in my 9 to 5 from 9 till 5. Come here, train, capture content so that I can go edit the following morning as well. And because we're trying to give the impression that we are a steady news that is steady influx of new content every single day for people.
Necessary, yeah.
So
But it's hard work.
It's hard work. So some days you are genuinely uninterested. Some days you might want to train, but you don't want to capture or create content.
Yeah, but you gotta.
Some days you want to just create content, but you don't want to train.
Yeah.
But you just have to.
You just have to. You gotta do what you gotta do.
just have to.
And what I've come to learn, one of the things I've come to learn very properly in the last 2 years is it's when you don't feel like it that it counts.
So that's the most important.
It's when you don't feel like creating that content that you might miss a beautiful shot that happens, or you don't feel like training, but the knowledge that day might change your game forever. The little tiny thing you might pick up might make you safer. You never know. So the Brazilians, they have the saying everyday porrada, which means more or less fight every day. It doesn't mean go and get into a fight, but it means train hard, work hard every single day, and it's a lifestyle, everyday porrada.
Yeah. All right then. Good. Are there any final? Because you're going to be doing these updates every week. I mean, we did Kezagatami, and then for the people at home who don't know what Kezagatami is, it's a transition, or rather, let's say it's a technique from side control in jiu-jitsu, right? So a technique and side control in jiu-jitsu is basically controlling your opponent from their side. So Andrew showed us some really interesting transitions from that position, some really cool techniques that you can apply to get a submission. And today we worked on the mount, and you said that this week is just for the mount, right?
This week is all mount. We're gonna focus on the mount. I've noticed it's very underused in the gym. A lot of people do a good job passing the guard. We will also look at techniques to pass the guard properly later, but somehow or another, I think it's natural instinct to just find a way around the guard, and everyone kind of does that, get inside control. But it looks to me that a lot of it, it feels like side control is like the end all be all. Meanwhile, it's not really. We can discover new positions to control and finish the fight. And mount is one of the very easy to get to ones from side control. So yeah, we started a bit today, just basic principles, concepts, and next week we'll start moving into more details and submission possibilities, control possibilities, escape from the mount, start making it a well-rounded situation, and we'll do some very, very specific training from the mount with escapes and submissions, just over and over and over, drill it into our skulls. And before the end of the week, well, for all you know, we'll have an extra chapter added to our knowledge base. Fingers crossed we're able to do, go through it smoothly, and slowly we start to add these techniques. Before you know it, dude, these guys will be murdering people.
Yeah, it started. You can attest to it as
Dude,
well.
look at Hugo.
Hugo.
Within a week, Hugo is He's because I rolled with Hugo. I think the very first person I rolled with was Hugo, and he was just like any new white belt, very very I want to say spazzy, but let's say exerting too much energy and more doing more wrestling than But look at Hugo rolling today. He's putting up his guard. He's recovering his guard. He's mounting. He's doing Ezekiel chokes. Good progression for 1 week. So it makes me really proud that whatever I'm putting across, people are picking it up, and it's little that I can put across, but if it feels like the hunger is there for it, so it's beautiful, man.
Because it genuinely is.
Yeah.
There's so yeah, I think this would be a very good time to plug it in. If any of this sounds interesting to anybody listening or watching, our training rather takes place at BodyRox Fitness Studio on the third floor of Silverbird in Central Business District, Abuja. We have Fight Club classes from 6 to 7 every day, but for the next 2 weeks, while Andrew is still with us, we'll have Jiu Jitsu from 5 till 7 in the evenings, and some days by 7 a.m. in the morning. So come through, learn something new, challenge yourself, grow. It's a beautiful environment, it's fun, it's engaging, and it makes you a better person generally. So yeah. All right then. I think with that we've covered all our content for the morning, and that is
good.
21 minutes and 30 seconds. So
Excellent.
permit me to plug in our shout outs to all our social media pages. So it's Combat Culture AF on Twitter, Combat Culture Africa on Instagram and Facebook. Our email is combatculture@gmail.com. Send us an email or tweet directly at us your questions or comments, and we'll address them in the next week's episode. On this episode, you've had the guy with the silky smooth voice and the bald head, Oche Charles Edache, aka Young Jollof, aka the Nigerian nerd, and right across from me is my partner in crime for the day, Mr. Andrew Osahor, and he is a blue belt visiting us from Malaysia. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blast, guys.
My pleasure.
And in 3, 2, 1, we'll say peace. 3, 2, 1,
Peace.
peace.
Beautiful.